Hi, I'm Jonathan M0JSX. Thanks for joining me this week, and today we're looking at a new, to me, portable antenna. Now, this antenna has been around for a couple of years, and certainly the concept of the antenna has been around for a lot longer than that. Today we're talking about the Slidewinder DX Kit from M1ECC Antennas. Now, the kit that I've got is the Ground Spike Kit, which retails for £168 and comes in a variety of colours. And when M1ECC sent this to me, they asked me what colour I would like, and because blue is my favourite colour, obviously I went for blue. So let's have a look at what you get in the kit. We'll start with the coil itself. Which is a very nice 3D printed construction, and then you've got the actual coil which runs up the 3D printed section itself, and then you've got this sliding collar, which is how you tune the antenna system. On the base of the antenna you've got a 3/8 by 24 thread, and then on the other end you've also got another 3/8 by 24, but this time it's the sort of socket, which is where you attach the whip onto. Speaking of the whip, M1ECC now supply this, which is a multi-section whip, where you screw all of the sections together. Now, it's very easy to do this. It's very hard to actually get wrong, to be honest with you, because it's quite clear which is the base section. It's quite clear which is the top section, and then the middle sections, they can only really go in one order because of the size of the threads. So you've got, I think, one extra section which is basically the same as the base section in terms of threads, and then you've got two with the smaller diameter which go atop that, and then finally the top section on the very top. So it's a 5-section whip. So it's not telescopic, so that's the difference between this and some of the other antennas which are very similar to the Slidewinder we see, but this is a multi-section whip, but it's screwed together. I quite like that, to be honest with you. I always found with the sort of telescopic whips, it can be quite tempting just to push down on the top and you end up breaking it. No chance of that here. They all come together really nicely. They get taken away, you can take them apart really nicely, and they're also supplied with this sort of Velcro strapping, which is around the base section, and then you just wrap it around, keeps them all nice and together. I generally keep mine in a little bag, the whole kit, so a really nice little solution that just keeps them all together. You also get in the kit a set of radials, so you have 4 radials around this nice matching winder. Now, it's colour matching to the coil. I don't know whether they're all blue and mine just happens to, because I picked a blue one, it matches, or whether they are colour matched to the coil you buy. I suspect the latter. After sort of a few conversations with David at M1ECC, I kind of get the impression that he would be thoughtful enough in order to do that. And then on the end, so they're quite a few meters long. I haven't measured them, but if I was guessing, I'd say about 5 or so meters per radial. And then on the end of the radials themselves, you've got these nice sort of another 3D printed. I'm not sure what to call these. They're like guying points almost, but they're not, because the idea with these is that you self-supply. Don't come with it, but you get yourself a tent peg, and that way you can pop it through the end of that and pin it down. So that's quite nice, rather than just sort of them being everywhere. If you are somewhere there might be a bit of foot traffic, you can pin these down to the ground. In terms of the actual performance of the antenna, it's not going to make a blind bit of difference, but it's nice that you can stake down the radials, and that keeps everything nice and neat. And then finally, as I say, this is the Ground Spike Kit, so it comes with a ground spike. And I've been looking at getting one of these for a very long time anyway, mostly because this has more applications than simply just the Slidewinder. But the Slidewinder coil fits directly onto there, as you would expect. You've then got a couple of wing nuts to put the radials on. You just spin those off, pop the radio on, spin it back on again, and it has to be finger tight. You don't have to go mad. And then you also have to pop this bolt through. This is supplied separator, so a couple of spanners, get it nice tight, and there we go. And then obviously on the bottom, SO239 for your coax. Now, a few days ago, I went to a local hilltop and set the antenna up. It went together really quick and easily. I was actually quite impressed with how easy it was to tune the antenna. And that was the thing that I was really quite worried about before I started setting up the antenna, would be how easy it would be to tune the antenna without the use of an antenna analyzer with me on the day. Now, I did do a quick test in the back garden with an MFJ antenna analyzer and found that, yeah, it was quite easy to do with the antenna analyzer, but how could you do it with just the SWR indication for your rig? And it was actually quite easy. By adjusting the coil and then taking a step back and listening on your radio, you sort of tune it for peak noise. And then once you're pretty close, then you can key down, see what SWR is like, and if it's a bit high, adjust the coil very slightly, repeat the process. If it's gone up, then go the other way, and you can get it tuned quite quickly. I was quite impressed that I was able to get it set up for the 40-meter band within, I don't know, a minute, if that, and then changing from 40 to 20 meters took me, I don't know, maybe a minute and a half. And I suppose the more you do it, you'll get to learn that, oh, well, I know that's about right for 40, or I know that's about right for 20. And, you know, you can almost do it by eyeball and then do fine adjustments and know that that's where I need to be. I think that's quite a nice thing about this antenna system, is that actually quite tactile in that respect. So I'm going to show you now a few clips that I recorded on Saturday when I went up the hill. I was using, as I say, the Slidewinder DX coil and the whole kit from Slidewinder. I was using a short length of RG8 Mini, and then I was also using the IC7300 with a battery in the car running 50 watts. Now, I'm going to preface this by saying the conditions on the day were horrible. Didn't matter what antenna I had up there, I wouldn't have got very many contacts. There was a big solar flare, the bands were down, but the fact that I was able to have a few QSOs proved to me that the antenna system does at least work, and obviously that's what we care about here. If I'd have gone on to FT8, I'd have had far more QSOs, but I wanted to keep it to strictly SSB, because I think if you're using one of these antenna systems, you might be going out portal, might not take a laptop with you. So I wanted to be purely SSB and have some SSB QSOs. So I'm going to show you a few of the clips that I recorded of having some QSOs using the Slidewinder DX coil, and then we'll have some thoughts.
Golf Mike 4, Victor Yankee Quebec, GM4 BYQ. Sugar, Peter 9, Tango, Kilo Whiskey, Park to Park. Oscar Hotel 3, Golf Zulu. Italy, Kilo 1, Zulu, Juliet Bravo. Charlie for 4, Papa Oscar.
So as I say, conditions on the day were diabolical, and that's no fault of the antenna system. But what do I think to the antenna itself? I think for £168 it's hard to beat in terms of this style of antenna. Now, it's worth noting that this antenna, or this concept of antenna, is not new. I think that the implementation that M1ECC have done here is brilliant. I think that the craftsmanship is quite nice, and the whole antenna kit, the price-wise, is very good. If you're not quite sure how these work, and as I say, there are a few of these types of antenna, but the way it works is the whip you put on the top has got a buttload of a capacitance at a particular frequency, and what you're doing is you're tuning the antenna by adding inductance, so you form an LC circuit, so it becomes a tuned antenna system. It's not a loading core. This is not a loading core, and that's what I think a lot of people go get a bit confused with. They go, well, how is that got enough wire around it in order to make the short whip section, a quarter wavelength on 40 meters? It's not, and that's not how they work. It's purely an LC tuned circuit. If you are after an antenna system that is A, quick to deploy, and B, is quick to take apart again, and that's actually going to get you on air, I think you could do a lot worse than the Slidewinder system. That's the thing that I was impressed with, is just how quick it went together and how quick I was able to take it down again. You could easily get this from in your bag to fully deployed, I think within 5 minutes, if that, and then maybe add on a couple of extra minutes in order to get it spot on frequency and SWR wise. I think you'd be absolutely fine with that, to be completely honest with you. Now I would like to do some future tests with the Slidewinder DX coil, because I also have a super antenna. This is an old MP1 that I've had for many years. Similar concept, but I would like to do a little bit of a side-by-side comparison and see, is one better than the other? I don't know. That'll be a nice test to do at some point, but we'll try that. We'll try the super antenna MP1 against the Slidewinder DX in a future video, probably at some point in the summer when we've got some lighter evenings and I can go out portable one evening. That's it for today. Thanks very much for watching. My thanks goes to M1ECC Antennas for the supply of the Slidewinder DX Ground Kit. There's a link in the description below for you to get yours. And if you haven't already done so, please do click on that subscribe button, as it really does help me out. There's another video coming up over here that the algorithm thinks that you might like next. And until the next time, 73. Bye-bye.